Hello and good day to you. Today's video, we are demonstrating the use of photographic image to make a shape in our digital craft technique of 12 crafts of card making. For this project, we'll need a photographic image, digital, graphic software. I'm using Affinity Designer, printer to print the card if you desire. If you desire to make an handmade card, you can use 250 grams to 300 grams of card stock. That's the weight of the card. Then if other things to make the handmade card will be displayed when we are making the handmade card. Go to File, Open to locate your image. So I'll click on OK. These are images that I've taken with my camera. And here's our image. We're going to do two techniques today. So the first technique is this, so that you can use any printed image you have instead of going through the stress. Instead of going through this process. I'm just going to drag this tab here so that you see clearly. This padlock here in the background layer, I'm going to click on it to release the background so that the background can move. If not, I won't be able to move the background. If the padlock is still there, I can move the background. So you click on it to release the background. Right click on the background, duplicate it, and go to the first background, then uncheck it. Activate the second background, which is what is visible now. And that's the background we're going to work with. We are working in Designer Personnel. Take the ellipse tool. If you look at your flower, you can decide the shape. If you want it to be circle, if you want it to be oval, if you want it to even be square, you can decide the shape. Maybe you want to put it at the back of a card for support. This is the first technique. The second technique, the flower is going to be the one to create the shape. So we can just drag it. I'm going to fill this ellipse shape with a different color. I'll go for purple. Then click on the transform tool in the in this toolbar. It's in pixel. I'm going to change it to work in inches because my card is in inches and I really don't work in pixels. So you go to File, Document Setup, and here you have your document unit. You change it to whatever metric unit you're working in. So I'll go for inches for this and click on OK. That's all. So now we have inches. We need our card is going to be 8 inches. But if you take a look at this flower, you will see that some parts are coming out. That means the flower has to be exactly 8 inches to fit into your card with envelope. So what I'm going to do here is you have to activate this lock ratio so that it resizes for you. If you want to work on for the ellipse tool, if you want to work on the background. So I'm just going to leave it still locked. We can unlock it when we are working on the background. We can lock it when we are working on the background too, and unlock it when we don't have a nice shape from it for our ellipse too. I'm going to make the ellipse to exactly 8. And I'll unlock it and make it 8 like a circle and see if it's going to fit properly. I'm putting it 8. No, this the shape is an ellipse shape, so we need a fraction or something. So I'm going to go back and put it on 7. That's a nice size, 8 by 7. So I'll leave it there. And then we'll go to the layer tool. Sorry, I have to bring it back. Just have finished. Layer and check the ellipse tool. You can still see the line on it. You can still see it. If you activate the layer, you will see it. Then we'll go to this background, and then we are going to work on it. We activate the background that is visible. We just drag the corners in. You can use your grid. The grid is already in inches, and you can see so we can use it to work. I'm going to try and place it in such a way that it will be easy for me, or it's easier for me to we can't use the full image to detect. We can only use the flower, because the flower is what we want to use to create our shape. So we're going to use the flower to make sure that we are within 8 inches. Okay, it's 8. Then we check on the okay, that's all right. And I'm going to click on the ellipse tool. No, I don't need to, sorry, I don't need to check it out. Just click it so that it's I can see only the lines. So we need to reduce the flower to about 7 point sorry, the width of the flower to be 8. Going to click on it to make sure the width is 8. Okay. Then the height. See, make sure the width is 8. Then the height is reducing because we want it to fit. So we are trying to make sure it fits our design. So now we have we can cut the flower and layer it. You can also make the ellipse tool smaller. You can make it smaller than your image, and then when you cut you cut the image and layer it on the ellipse tool to give you that shape, so that then you can layer it on the image. Sorry, you layer the image on the ellipse tool. You layer it on the ellipse tool. So that's how you go for the first that's the first technique, using the card size you want to measure it. And then so I'm just going to save this and say save as. Now we do the second one, which is we work on the second one, which is what we truly want. So I'm going to go to File, Open Recent, because I've opened it before, and here's the image. Now we have this. So come here, I'm going to release the background. The background was locked before. I just clicked on it to release it. Then I'll duplicate the background. Let's duplicate it. Right click on the background, duplicate, because we're going to work with the duplicate. Then uncheck the first background and let this other and let the activated layer be visible. So now we've duplicated our background. We're going to work in pixel personnel. That's this box area. This is the vector area, so we have to go to the box, the pixel area. So click on it, and you will notice the two brushes are different from the Affinity Designer personnel. So we need a selection brush tool, the one with this matching ant around this selection. Okay, that's this one. Click on it. Although the pixel is kind of small, you can resize it the way you want to. So I'm going to resize it to about 50. If you are not good with the slider, you can just click into it and type whatever number you want to. And then after that, activate the add. The mode should be on add. Although we are going to still work with subtract, but as we go on, we'll talk more about it. So with that, you click on the... So I'm going to take the... Make sure the mode is on add. Your selection brush tool, the mode is on add. Then the width, you can change it. I'm just going to... You can move with the slider if you want to, or you can just go in here and type whatever number you want. When you are happy with the number, you go to your... Make sure it's the layer you want to delete is what is activated, and the layer you're working on. Then we start selecting. You can use the stylus for this, but if you're also good, you can use the mouse. If you want leaves, you can add leaves. Even if some of your designs are taken out over, we'll work we'll remove them before we certify our design or our shape. Okay. Now we have our shape, but if you note, there's I want this leaf here because it's a complete leaf, and I think I want this leaf here too. I still want that leaf here, there. Although it's kind of fainted, but faded or blurry, I still want it. So what I'll do, I'll go to subtract, and I'll drag the matching ant out of the leaf. Let's see, I need this leaf here. Then if it has gone too far, you can go back to add, click on the add mode, and then you move it. It's nice to zoom into your work to see if that some parts are not missing, and also you can resize the brush when you want to do that. So that you can go into tiny details. Okay. Let's see our full work surface. Now we can see the matching ants around the image and around the image and around the page. If you click on delete, you will see your shape. But I'll go to edit undo. We have something else we need to do. With the selection brush still activated, that's what we need to go on refine. We want the edges to be smooth. And here we have it. Let me go into, oh, okay, I think that should be. So click on refine. I just want to see the full image. And here we've clicked on refine, and you can move the slider on the smooth or feather if you want to. So I've just moved it on the smooth. So here, this is what this is the image. If you don't want overlay, if you are going to cut, you can use them black and white to see how your design is going to be. So here we have the design. It's a nice black shape. Now you see the shape out. Okay, that's nice. This is how the shape is going to be. That you can click apply. Then click delete on the keyboard and it will delete the background. Then you go to selection, deselect. Now instead of using going to Affinity Designer Personal to use the ellipse shape, this is our shape now. So we'll go to okay, let me drag it out here. So we'll go to the transform tool and want to resize this to the size of the card we're going to cut it. We want it to fit, even if you're going to cut it using a digital cutter, you want it to fit the to be the size of the card you desire. So it's in pixel. I'm going to go to file, document setup, document unit, and use inches. So use inches and then you click OK. Now it's in inches. Our ruler has automatically set to inches. I'm using an 8-inch card, square card. So here I make sure the lock ratio is aspect ratio is activated, so that when I resize the width, the height automatically resize. Oh, click 8 and it says I'm going to click 8 and the height has resized to 6.5. So that's all right. My 8-inch card can do that work. I'm going to put this down here. Yes, I think down. Then go to the layer palette, right click on it, go to the layer palette Go to the layer palette, activate the image layer, right click on it and click on duplicate. I'm going to name this first one as my shape card layer. This second one supposed to just duplicate like that, so I'm going to rename it. Sorry, I'm going to just click in it and rename it shape card back, because that's we want to create the back of it. Okay. If you press your shift key on your keyboard and drag the mouse across, it's going to make it straight. You can see a very long straight line as you go, so that it moves up. But you can use your cursor too, so that it don't move. You don't need it to move. After that, you're going to go to this toolbar here, and you're going to tell it to flip vertical. You'll make sure this is going to match with this. I'm going to uncheck this one first, so that I won't talk about this. Then I'll put one in color. If we want to make a kind of the spine of the card, if the spine is on this, it's going to be too fiddly. So I want the spine to be on this part that we can try and make a square out of it. So I want the spine to be on this where the cursor is, just across like that. Okay. So this can be coming out of the card, and it will make use of the remaining part of the 8 inch. So we're trying to get a spine for our card, and we don't want the spine to be fiddly. We want the spine to be really thin. So I'm going to zoom out, and the page, if you notice, the page is it's going to be too small to layer it. I'm going to increase the size of my page now. Go to the layer palette. I'll click on the bottom layer, that background, and then click on this tool here to add a new layer. I'm going to go back on the menu bar, go to this and click on move to back. It's going to take you to the bottom. If you can't see this icons on your menu bar, then you can go to layer, arrange, and then because we have moved it to back, it has grayed out. Then you use that to move it to the portion you want it to be, or to the place you want it to stay, the layer you want. So now I'm still going to go back to that layer, and I'm going to increase it because I want to increasing your canvas. The canvas is now small. You want to work with a very large canvas, so I'm going to increase it so that our work will be on one. Then we can make different pages and copy them into those pages. So go to document setup, and I'm going to take the dimension here is 14.81. So I'm going to make it what should I make it? We need more on the height, we need more on this. So I'm going to make this one 20, and I'm going to make this 20. So I'm going to have a 20 by 20 inch. Okay, here we have it. So we have a very big page now to work on. We've increased the size of our I'm zooming to. We've increased the size of our page so that we can work and put all our work together. Then sorry I'm trying to, okay, think that's perfect. So we've increased the size of our page. Remember, we are using just this the flower page, flower size to do the page, but now we need more space on our page. So I'm going to activate the back now. I've moved it. Oh no, wasn't supposed to move it. I'm going to go back to, let me see. Okay, yeah, I've come back. All right, so now we have it. I'm going to take this black card, the card back. I'm going to go with the selection tool and turn it to black. If we had just when we wouldn't have gone through all this process if we had just when we made the card layer, we duplicated it in when it was selected and just turned it to black, then you invert the selection. So I made that mistake then, and we've gone too far to do an undo button. So I'm just going to go through using the selection brush. I'm going to remove this, just make this the front card layer invisible, so that we can work with this back card layer. That's a flipped layer. So I'm going to zoom out a little to make sure that everything is, that what I want is selected. And I'll zoom into the image. You know how this brush works. Might have cut out some images, some parts of the image. And I'm going to go to my selection brush to take a little pixel and activate. Okay, let me go in here and activate selection brush tool, activate subtract, and we're going to subtract this one out of the just making sure there's no stray one. Okay, that's fine. We'll go to selection and invert pixel. Now you can see that there's no selection matching ant or selection around the page, but just on the image. If you look at it, you see that there's no selection, no matching ant around, just on the image. Take the paintbrush tool, that's a brush tool without matching ants. We're going to click on it. Take a color of your choice. Let's go for black. I think black should be all right for us. Resize it to resize it as you desire. Make sure the back is what is activated, and then you go and you paint over it. Let me see if the float fill tool can do that. Oh. So make sure the color you want is what is activated, and then oh, why is it selecting? Hardness is supposed to be 100. Sorry. Flow 100%. Which brush am I using? Oh, pencil. Sorry, I was supposed to use the basic. Thought it was on that. Pick a nice size brush and you just go over it. Sorry for that. You want to okay, make sure I'm going to zoom in so that you see it. I will make sure we cover the selection. Then we'll go to select, deselect to see our image. This little one here. Okay. So now we've covered our image with the black. And I'm going to open this and you see. Then we can adjust. Okay, we'll just use our arrow key so that we don't move and make mistakes. Just use our arrow key to make sure that we make them move to me the spine where we want the spine to be. So here we have it. Let's zoom in so that we'll see our work. So this is where we're trying to create a spine. We want these two big petals these two petals here to move to meet, and this other two, so that it created a very nice spine for us. Why this we pop over this way. So because it's on top now, it's not looking nice. I want to move it under this layer, not into the layer, not into the card layer. Let me bring it out here. Not into this layer. So to move it out, you drag it as if you activate the layer and drag it as if you can see the small box as if it's moving. Then you put it on, you go under and just let it go. It's now under. If you drag it and put it directly, it hides the layer, it makes the layer move into the second layer, which we don't want. So you drag it out and let it come out as we've done. You move it out so that you see it under the layer. Or you can see, just use them, this arrange and say move back, move back one. It's time to design our decoupage. I'm just going to make sure we see this. Oh, and move it to one side. So here's our shape. If you're going to cut it out, you can just put only one of these. If you're using your hand to cut it, you can put just the front one. Score your card already, layer it as a template and just cut around it. If you are going to use a hand to cut it. If you are going to cut it with digital cutter, you can cut it like this. You can max both of them. You can even make this the same black color. You cut it so that it cuts as one file. Then you score it. Make sure you know where to score, and then you just score it there, and that's it. Or if you don't have this, you don't want to go through those stress, you can go through the first technique we said. You cut a shape, then you put the images you are going to design next. That's the decoupage part of it. You're going to layer it on it, and it will be as if it's a shape, because you have used a tool smaller than the size of the image. So let's keep on working. And I'm just going to save first. You know, it's good to save your work. I don't want any mishap. So I'm going to just save it as an Affinity file. So I'll go to File, Save As. I'll call it a Photographic. Oh, I didn't spell it properly. Photographic shape card. I can call it working because I'm still working on this, so I can just leave it there. So now we have it in, we've saved it in layer format. Now we need to make our decoupage. So we have to make sure the page, you see the full page. So I activate this first shape card shape layer or shape card layer. Right click on the layer tool and click on duplicate, and it has duplicated it for us. You can see it here. So I'm going to call this one decoupage 1. Then I'll move it aside. This is the one we're going to, when we design it, finish doing it, we'll delete, we'll duplicate as we desire. So this is the background. You can also make this, even if you have this, you can still have this and say this is one to have full, especially if you have changed this one to a color to cut for the card to cut. You want this green background to add kind of contrast to the card. So I'll just leave this for those that want that are going to, that I want to like print and layer again. So we'll leave that one aside, and then we come back here and we're going to duplicate it again and we'll call it decoupage 2. So work with decoupage 2 now. So I'll activate the decoupage 2 layer, and that's what we're going to work with. I'll move it. Oh, what happened? Edit, undo. Sorry, I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, sorry, it moved up. Duplicated up. All right. If perhaps you duplicate like me now and you didn't see it, let me go back to edit, undo, transform, edit, undo, transform, so that we, in case people. So I was looking for it now, but when I activated it, you will see the selection box to around it, so you know where it went to. Maybe it went out of your page when you did duplicate due to a kind of setting that you have. So that's how to locate something you've duplicated. If not, you just have them going around your page and you are still looking for them. All right, so this is the one we are going to work with, the decoupage 2. I'm just going to zoom in. Then with our selection brush, we're going to remove some details from this. And the detail we don't want is the green. Going to remove the green because we want the layer. So with my selection brush, I'm selecting the things, the parts I don't want, like this tiny black part. All this tiny one, you can use craft knife to cut them. You can also use a digital cutter. So all these layers, those green, you don't want them. These are going to be the lower layers, so you don't want them. This one, the leaf has gone, because that was why we left the first one, so that the leaf you can have that. So we are going to and you can zoom into them to delete whatever you want to delete. So I'm just going to So before I go out of the page to the site, let me clean these main ones here, because those ones, a big selection brush tool can do that. I'll go to make sure activate add, and we zoom in, then come back for our brush. Like this part is out, it's supposed to be in, so I'm going to go around it. Oh sorry, add. Oh sorry, add, subtract. The good thing is that even if you don't work on the, if you don't work with add, it's supposed to be subtract. Okay, this black one spot here needs to go. So even when you work, if you cut it out, when you are printing, you will see a white mark there, and that tells you that that needs to go. Subtract, add. These three ones, they need to go. So work on them like that. And this one we need to add to remove this part. And if you're cutting digitally, remember you need to cut, you can use your, when you're in digital cutter, you can cut it when the software tells you what to remove. You will know what to remove and how to do the setting so that you can cut around your image. So I need a very big brush too, because I have to go around it now. Now we see that the matching ant is only on the image. We are working with this image. And if you click delete, let me see, you see this is a flower we need. There's a flower we're going to just layer it, then we'll remove another one, we'll layer it. As you know, we're going to click on refine. Okay, let's just leave it on overlay. I'm going to move the smooth again. I'm going to make the smooth 1.2. So here we have it, and I'm going to click on apply. Then selection none. Deselect. Then I'll go to the layer palette, duplicate this decoupage tool that we just worked on, and rename it to decoupage 3. Sorry. Duplicate it and rename the new file to decoupage 3. So I'm going to click on it and move it. I think I need to move some of those files. Just trying to create space. With my shift key, I can just move both of them. Put my cursor across, drag the cursor across both of them, then press my shift key and with my mouse drag it up to follow. So this is one. Also, if you are going to print for, you want to make them for sale, then you can indicate, because people want to know which to cut first, which this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, this is going to be 3, and this is going to be 4. Even if you, because of the background, you need to say this, or you can put template here so that they know this is a template, so that they know these particular ones are the template, the one with the black and the flower there. You can even make them single color or 2 different colors so that they know. Then this is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, and this is going to be 3. That's what we've done. So we are going to work on 3 now to remove some designs that we don't want. You know, we still have a little green, we have some flowers off, so I'm going to go there with my selection tool, and we're going to start. Do I want this one? I'm going to use a small selection brush tool, and we're going to go in to select what we don't want. You can go later on to refine them. So it's up to work on the pixels so that the pixels are quite close. Selection pixel. And I'm using a stylus and it's graphics tablet instead of a mouse. Let me see how we've come. Okay. All right, let me work on this other outside one quickly. Okay, I think this is the last one to work on. Or subtract. Right, so I'm just going to enlarge my brush because I want to click it onto the background, and I'm going to zoom in to make sure we see the work surface. I'm just going to I think this one is too small. I need it to activate quickly. Okay, So now just going to check, double check. Okay, now we have the matching ant around the background of the image. And I'm going to click on refine. That took time. Okay, so this is what is just apply some small. So this is how our image is going to, this is what we want to cut out. And this is what we want left. It's going to click on apply, and then I'll click on delete. You zoom in to see your image. Select this, select. And so this is the image left. It's going to be cut out and layered. This is our third decoupage. You can stop here if you want to, but some people do like a fourth one because they want just that. But I think I'll stop here. This other one really took time. If you want another one to say what you want to remove now, look at the flower. This other one, that's this one out here, you want to remove this one, the one with the stripes, the color. You want to remove this, 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 but I'm just going to leave this. This is all right for me. You can decide which of them you want to remove. Sorry about that. Sorry about the zooming. I'm just trying to make it fit the page so that you see our work. Oh, it's gone too much. Okay, I think this. So here's our design. We have the shape, we have the first layer, we have the second decoupage, we have the third decoupage. And now, if you want to print it, you have to save it, export it. And since it can not to resize it or anything, so I'm going to create a new page. You can create a new page, like an A4 page, or do you have a preset page? No. Let me self-print. Okay, we have an A4 page. Okay, click on print. Where did I go to first? Okay, file, new, click on print, and type should be print. Then you give it the sizes. We'll go for A4, of course. Most printers and A4 size. Documenting it, you can still go for inches or centimeters or millimeters. Let me just take centimeters. So you have the sizes here. 300 dpi, minimum print quality. If you want it in portrait or landscape. Should I put it in portrait or should I put it in land? Let me leave it in portrait. Let me leave it in portrait. Then you click OK when you are ready. Now we have a new file. Drag your mouse over the first the shape, both the black one and the patterned one, and you go to edit, copy. Then you come to this and you to this new A4 page and you tell it to paste, and you paste it there. Make sure both of them are still selected, and you use your key cursor not to make your keyboard cursor not to make a mistake. You use it to arrange it. And here you can see it fits an A4 page. So that tells you that because we have moved them, we were able to take care of all those. So now it can fit an A4 page. So you can cut it out of an A4 page. If you want to, you don't want to print this colored one, you can, oh sorry, both of them are selected. You can click on those, you can click on this, on the shape, the colored layer, make it invisible, you can click on this black layer, you can duplicate it, then you flip it, flip vertical, go to this icon here, flip vertical, press shift on your keyboard this here and just move it across, then you layer it on this side. Okay, that's if you are going to cut it instead with a digital digital cutter. Now you have the shape that you can work with. So it's going to cut it. You remember to score it where it's as if it mirrors. You're going to score it there. You can trim anyone you want out of it. It's optional. You can trim any part of it that you want, you don't like. When you finish cutting, or before you cut, you can trim it, or you can just leave it activated and use that to line it to make sure it's what you wanted before. So here we have it. So if you want the printed, you can activate it and print. If you don't want that, you can, so that you know how to. So I'm going to save that. While we're saving it, okay, before we save that, I'm going to create another new A4 page, same setting, and we're creating a new one. So that one we want to save, we save together. I'm going to select, drag my mouse across. What happened? One thing with the mouse. So I'm going to, sorry about that, just mistakenly dragged it from the toolbar, from the header bar. Okay. Drag your mouse across the 2 decoupage image. Select, right click on it and click on copy. You see the you see the two the selection box across the two. Then select it, come to your new A4 page and click edit paste. You have it is bigger than this, so you have to create a new page for each of them. Well, let's see if we flip it to make maximum space. If we can rotate it, sometimes you'll be able to rotate it and fill it in. You'll be able to do that. No, it's not going to stay. So I'm going to delete this second one and leave this one here. Let's see if I can get another one. Then we'll make another file, new. We'll pick that one back that way. Okay, going to come to edit, copy. Going to come to edit, paste. It's a new layer. So it's a very big card. That's why we need, it's going to print in lots of sheets. Now we need this main one, our decoupage one. So I'm going to go to File, New, same print, type print, page A4, and click on OK. And then we'll come back, activate the one we want, right click on it and click on copy. Then we'll go to our new page and click on edit and paste, and we'll paste it. If it's not, if you can't fit the page properly, you just need to use any of this icon here to turn it into clockwise, to rotate it, then you can have it. So here we go, and here is how okay, let me rotate this one. I think that would be great to rotate those ones. Okay, so I think where's the other one? This one was able to fit because we have and when you are printing, don't tell it don't say fit to page, so that it prints it exactly. The printing setting does say fit to page, so that you want it to print exactly how you have designed it. You don't want it to resize it. If it's going to be border, if it's going to create, some printers to create borders, so it's going to create a border and resize it a little for you. You don't want that, so you want it to print exactly how it is. this one was able to fit a page. I know some of us will be wondering why the decoupage was not able to fit. Two of the decoupage wasn't able to fit a page, but this one is able to fit a page. That's because, you know, we moved one of the image so that we can get a spine. So the image is overlapping, taking care of it overflowing on the page. Okay, so let's say if we're going to go to file, since it's a JPEG, you can leave it in Affinity format. You can save it in Affinity format, and you can save it as a JPEG. So I want to save this as a JPEG, so I'll go to File, Export. I'll still save it in Affinity format because it's layered. Then here in the export setting, you select whatever format you want. I'm going to save it as JPEG. You can save it as TIFF. Make the quality 100. Preset is going to be JPEG best quality. And then if you don't want it to export hidden layer, you can say you should not export it. So you can tick that. I want it to export the whole document, so that's all right. I will click on. If you want to include more information, here you have it. You can put whatever information. You can tick on it, check on it to see what you want. If you want to change file, if you want to, you have that. So I'm going to click on export, and okay, photographic card, photographic card, oh, photographic shape card, photographic shape card. One, or should I say template? I should put it as template so that I know that that is my template. Okay, so I'll just say photographic shape card template, and I'll save it. I'll start. So it has exported, and I can save it as in Affinity, and I can say save as, and I'll just say photographic. It's supposed to pop template, but instead make sure if you are using it like that, make sure you remove this JPEG at the back. Then it's leave it in, then you save it in Affinity for you. So I have it in layer format in case I want to change something. If I want to make it just black, then I can come in here and say, okay, I want black. I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to file, save. I'm going to make it black. I have black ink. Okay, still saving, sorry. So now I'm going to start. Okay, first, hope I've saved it. I want to close some of the tabs. So now I'm going to start saving the decoupage, and I need to save them in. For this first, I need to save that. I'll just say file, save as, photographic card, card, full decoupage and templates. I'm saving it in Affinity format because I already have can alter whatever I need to. Now close it. So now I want to save the decoupage, which is number 1. Now we need to know number 1 from 2 and 3. Okay, this is number 1 because of the green. I can still remember and the leaves. So file, save as, photo, graphic card. Oh, sorry. Okay, since it's just 1, I don't need that. I'm going to go to file, export. That'll be better for me. photographic card. It's not going to be templates. This time it's going to be decoupage 1, so that I'll know that's the decoupage for number 1. If you want to, you can put 1. You can just write 1 here. If you are making it for sale, you can just put 1. You can just put 1 close to it, so that when you print it, you know this is number 1 and the other one is number 2. Then you can print 1 too, but I don't need that, so I'm going to delete that. Then which is number 2? That's number 2. I'm going to go to, because you are not there to tell the people that, oh, suppose file export, sorry. So this file export, and I will export it. So we've done our card. Oh, I think I need to open it again. Okay, let me open this full one. So we've done the sub card. We've done the first one where we spoke about is it this? Okay, where we did this first one when we said we can use shape. That's the first technique. Then we went into detail of the second technique. You can still use those decoupage. When you have resized, you can create your decoupage like what we did in second technique, and then layer it on this. Then you can still use to create your own shape and stuff like that. Especially if you're going to use it as a, if you want to make like an easel or something, it all depends on a table. You can even put it flat. You can put that circle on it and layer it and put it on a circle or on a table. Then layer it, you can decoupage it and layer it on it and put it on a table to act as a centerpiece. It's optional, or you can do that and also tie it to gift. You can make it as a gift tags. You can make it as gift tags or as you desire. So we've done that. Here we said you can use a shape to help you in resizing, especially if you don't want to go through the long process, or you don't have a software that you can go. You've just printed them out. You can decide what to cut, put a shape on at the back that you desire. That's it. Then you can just start trimming around, or you can resize the image to that particular size, and then you trim and layer. So, and this one we've taught you how to use. We've demonstrated how to use the flower, the second technique, which we demonstrated here, of how to use the flower as the main shape without the help of a geometric shape, the basic geometric shape or anyone. So we've done that, and we've prepared some decoupage so that we can lay out the flower and create dimension. We've saved our work, and now we're going to meet on the work surface, where we're going to make it into a handmade greeting card, so that you touch it. You have to make your handmade greeting card. So let's meet on the work surface to make the handmade greeting card. So we are now here on the work surface to make the handmade photographic shaped handmade greeting card. We need our printed sheet. This is the one for the shape, to cut out the shape. This is the decoupage one. This is the second one, and this the third one. It can either go on an 8-inch card or A5. A4 cards cut in half to make an A5 card. So I'll use the A5 card because the logo is higher here. If I use this one, because the logo is lower, it's going to cut out. So I'll use this A5. We also need foam pads, 3D foam pads, double-sided. We need liquid glue. We need craft knife to go into some details when cutting it. If you have not cut it, if you didn't use a digital cutter to cut it, you need scissors to cut it. Your decoupage. Because you need craft knife, you need a craft mat. These are self-healing craft mats, so when I cut on it, it heals. So I've already cut the shape. To make use of time, I've cut out the shape, but I left this white part out. I'm going to score it. Let me put this aside. So I'll just fold it, match the two ends together, flatten it, and just try and form a crease. Then, and here we have it. We have a crease. If you notice, some part on the crease, some part of the flower is going to go out. So let me get a previous cut one that I did to save time. If we put it, I use scissors to cut them and craft knife to go in between. So if we put it on the card, it's going to come out, which is a nice design for us. So now I'm going to place it on the card, like so. And then with the scissors, you can use masking tape to glue it to it, to stick it if you have masking tape, but I can hold it. You can leave it flat so that I don't move. You can use masking tape to just stick it, that you can get the actual cut you want. We crease it because we want a nice fold so that a card can open, because an open card can open and fold. The second technique I was trying to make, I'll explain that later. So just to use something like a circle, a small shape. Let me see if I have that. Let's put this aside before we start our design. So just use something like a small card, you cut out your image, and then you just layer it on it, and you can just put it on a work, like a plug on a work surface. Sorry, like a plug on a table to decorate the table. Then you have your shape. That was the first technique that we did on when we are designing. So now I'm going to start cutting. I'm just going to layer it properly. I can hold it when I cut, but if you know you can't hold it when you cut and it's going to move, then use a masking tape to place it, to stick it down. So that it's intact. So I'm going to cut around it. If I want to, I can decide not to cut too close to it to give me a nice white border. If I want it, I can try to go too close to it. But if you have a digital cutter, you don't need to go through this stress. You just cut with your digital cutter, send your card in, scan it. If you have the digital cutter that can scan and then can cut it, you can use that to do this. Or if you have the other type, you can upload it into the digital cutter, tell it to trace it, and then it can cut it out for you. If you don't want the white edge, and maybe you trimmed it and you still have a little white edge, then you can go over it with ink pad or felt tip pen. So here we have it. I've cut out the shape of the card. So now I'm going to go with the first layer and then layer it. Oh, I forgot to trim out that white part. Let me show you. This white part here, I forgot to trim it. Okay, let me bring it. Do I really? Yeah, I need to trim it. I don't want it. But if you don't want to trim it, you can cut out some part of the flower, and then when you are layering, you just overlay put something up there, because you've cut it out. You can tuck in some other flowers into it. So I have some white edge. I'm going to use green. Let me use felt tip. I like my white edge. I want it there. But for those who don't have, I'm going to use the green felt. No, I think. So if you don't like the white edge, or it's too, you can use green felt tip and go around the edge. Or you can watercolor the edge to feather it. But I like mine, and I'm going to leave it like that. I just want to have a nice edge. But if you don't want it, you can trim it. Okay, so I have to cut that part out. So I'll go with my main design, and I'm going to trim it. Okay, well layered. Then I'm going to trim it. this other one here. Just going to try and cut into it so that I'm going to leave this small one here because it's very fiddly, so I don't want it to bend, so I'm going to leave this tiny one here. Okay, so now we have our shape card, and let's see if it's going to stand. Of course it's going to stand. Standing. All right, and you can see the logo here, but the handmade, because I used a pre-designed card. I've already printed my logo before I decided to use it for this. So if you want to make yours, you have to make sure your logo go close, and you have to. So let me use the glue now. So I'm going to put the first. Hope I'm using the right one. The first one, we're going to. That's it. We're going to glue it. Just to make sure I'm on the right. That is the right part, not the back, so that I don't. Okay. Oh, I forgot the spot again. All right. I'll have to. Let me trim it so that I don't soil my work. So let me trim that one. I'm going to put my back, and I'm going to trim it because the flower is not. I'm just going to trim. So we have it. Let me clean this. Okay, now let's start gluing. This is the first layer, and with the liquid glue, I'm just going to put it so that I won't put it up to the top. That's because I have to make sure that there's another part that's going to come out of this. And I won't put too much to the edge because I don't want it smearing out. Oh, I've put some to the top now. Made a mistake. Oh, it dries clear. And clean it. Okay, I need to add glue here. I want to know the exact spot to add glue. So I'm going to add glue there, and I'm going to add glue here. Before it dries, I'm just going to shift it in. There's a good thing about liquid glue. You can move it around before it dries. So I'm just going to move it around. Still have glue in my hands, not to soil my work. But it's good for my fingers. Okay. There are some tiny tips that I didn't add glue like this. So I'm going to just put a dab there. Just a little. I'm going to make it come out. Oh, that's nice. You see the back, no glue now. I thought I did the glue out, but you know I did it properly. Okay, so that's the first layer, and we have the second layer, and this is the second decoupage layer. Because we're one dimension, I'm not just going to leave it flat. I'm going to use my scissors or a pen. You can coil it, and be careful not to cut it. So I'm going to I used a laser printer, those industrial laser printer, to print it out. That's why the colors are vibrant, and that's about that laser printer printed about 120, is it 1000, sorry, 1200 dpi. So that's why the colors kind of vibrant. I'm not to use this glue. Okay, to use some foam pads because I want to add dimension. So at the sheet I used to print, I don't know the name. I can't remember. It's been long I've had it. I've thrown away the tag. But if I can remember the name in future videos, if I can see, if I can check for my receipt, and I'll be able to tell you this. But I got it when I bought an inkjet printer. Came along with the printer. But it's kind of it's not too glossy, but it's smooth. So if I can get the name, I'll let you. I know it's about 160 or 180 grams, something like that. I'll check my receipt. It's been long. Yeah, it's now more than 3 years. Going to make sure I line it properly, and I'll layer it there. Okay. Then I'll get that's number 1, 2, and this is 3. So I'm going to coil this again. I like the way the white the edge feathered here, because it's like when you're shooting, if you've done some photography or seeing images, it's as if you put a light at the back of the image when you snap it, so it gives that translucent look at the back. So I like it when the edge is glowing. It's really nice. So I'm just coiling it to give dimension and not to make it flat. With the put one big one here. So peel it. I forgot to take the backing off. If you can't take it off because of your nails, you can use tweezers. I'll do that job for you. So and here we go. layer this one properly. Oh, forgot to trim this properly. And if you want to add glitz, you can add you can use glitter glue pen, and I don't want that because some people don't like glitter. Okay, so here's our card. You see it can stand on its own. Standing on its own. So here's our shape card. And I said earlier, if you don't want the white edge, I like the white edge. Some people don't like it. So, or if you don't like the white edge, then use a green. You can cut another pattern to use a green, or you can just go around the edge with a marker pen. I like the white edge. So here's our shaped, our photographic image used as a shape card. Thank you for joining me for this video of 12 crafts of card making, the technique of digital craft, a focus on photographic cards used as a shape card. So have fun. Until next time, you can visit the blog Anino Ogunjobi to see what's happening in the crafting industry. So until then, happy crafting and happy designing. Thanks. Bye for now.